Hi AJ, how are you doing, mate?
Not too bad, Frank. Not too bad on this lovely little day of deluge.
The weather's atrocious at the moment, isn't it?
I'm not going to lie. I did drive through a puddle past a runner to get here, and I heard the scream. So I've irritated somebody just going about their business and running. To be fair, I was only doing 20 in a 30. So
would you ever do that deliberately?
No, I'm not awful. And I think it is actually... I don't know whether I want to call
it's
it...
illegal?
It is illegal.
Yeah, apparently it is.
I don't know if it's called like assault or battery or something like that, but there's some kind of technicality which makes it illegal, driving through a puddle.
Something else that I was told was illegal. Rowena told me last night what we were
doing. Do you know what? There's a load of laws from back in the Tudor times that they've not changed or amended, so that they're still illegal. I think that's including beating a rug in front of a palace or a castle or something like that.
Oh right, I shall remember that next time I'm outside Bookhouse.
Well, any of them really. It is illegal. I'm not sure how enforceable it is these days, but still illegal.
God, what we were talking about last night. Listen, we might have even been talking about it training, because we both went to training last night, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
And we did our fair bit of training as well, didn't we? We picked the loose balls up and sent them back into play.
We got our steps in. We encouraged James to scale the fence to get the ones that were smashed into the bush.
Or he's still moaning now?
Or in Tom Broadfoot's case, smashed into Derbyshire.
Yeah, well, normally it's Darius, isn't it? But Darius has left us, as we don't like. So it's normally Rose Ed of Ormskirk, isn't it? You know what I mean? Heading towards West Head or Latham, depending which direction they're shooting in.
Smashing it into, yeah.
So what have you been up to?
Really not very much at all. No.
Because you're back at work, the strike is off.
For now, yes.
Yeah, for now. So when you say for now, is there a possibility?
There's a possibility of it being reintroduced in December. Negotiations are still ongoing with the council, but I don't think they've made positive inroads just yet. So we could be back on strike during Christmas.
And the union can still support you for that long?
Mm-hmm. They can. They've been supporting us for nearly 2 years now during these strikes. Yeah. Well, Unite, it's not like a standalone union like the miners' strike was, because the miners' strike was only covered by the NUM, or the National Union of Mine Workers, whereas Unite covers a lot of professionals within the public sector, so social workers, social care officers, occupational therapists, teachers, child psychologists. I could name any.
We might have a mutual friend, albeit I think he's retired from the nursing profession, but I think he's still involved with Unite.
Okay.
A bloke called Lee Morgan.
Haven't heard of him. No. Our organiser's a bloke called James, but not heard from anyone called Lee Morgan. No.
Just a blast from the past there. I just thought I'd mention him because a mutual friend of mine, she's involved with the NHS and she knew of him, so I just expected everybody to know.
To know everyone else. Not quite, but nearly.
No. So I've been nursing. I've been nursing a sore back, as you know. It's still really, really bad. I've had to pop the pills today just to keep myself afloat. But there comes a point where you're thinking it might resolve itself within a couple of weeks. I'm getting to that feeling now that it might not. So it might have to be a visit to the quack, unfortunately. But listen, maybe something might cheer you up, really, as the results of the predictions last week. Now, normally we wouldn't, but we've got to, haven't we? We've got to start the show off with a laugh somehow.
A little bit, so a lot of the games were actually rained off yesterday, which we'll come to in the main show. But how did you carry on?
Well, I think you should reveal your score first.
Do you now?
Yes, since you're the reigning champion.
All right, okay. So, bearing in mind a lot of the games...
No excuses, just what's
Fine, okay. I got 18.
Oh, you're joking, aren't you?
Yeah.
I could only manage 16.
Yes! All right.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I tell you, it's the First Division South. What does it for me every single week?
Yeah, I started off okay in the FA Vase.
Yes.
And then the last 5 results I got completely wrong.
Yeah, I got 7 right in the Vase out of 12, I think it was.
Yeah, I got 5.
Did you? Got 5 in the end. Yeah.
I would have thought that hopefully I was thinking that I would have resurrected myself in the in Tuesday night's fixtures, but like you say, only 1 2 place. Well, this will come to that in the. Well, so I think is that the 3rd week on the trot now? I think you've. They've been very close though. It's either 1 or 2 points, pretty much. So. Really disappointed with that. But I mean, we'll talk about the shock. Results in the real
first
show.
Part of the show, yeah.
What have you been watching on telly? Because we've not really discussed in the last couple of weeks what you've been watching. I'll tell you what I've been watching first of all. It's on Sky Atlantic, I think, and it's her fault or it's your fault. Around it is.
Yeah.
So the lead woman that was in Succession, really good actress. Don't know her name, but she's a really good actress. She's in it, and the story is all about. A baby that's abducted, or a school child that is abducted, and the story around that. And there seems to be some kind of big plot. I'm only 2 to 3 shows into it, but it's festering into a really good. It's about a lot of people that are extremely intelligent, well off, got a lot of money, and they've got nannies, and it. Yeah, so quite a controversial story, but it's well worth watching. Like I say, I'm only 2 or 3 shows into it, but from the outset, it looks like a really good show. And I don't think you can really go wrong with whoever she is, and I'm sure their name will come to me eventually.
All right.
But certainly, well worth a watch.
Okay, good call. As for me, I watched an absolutely amazing movie the other night, but it made me ugly cry like nothing else. So the movie's called Only the Brave. It's on Netflix.
Right.
Okay, and it's about a group of firefighters, but they're forest firefighters. All right, so they go out and tackle like big forest blazes, and as you know, in America, that it's quite it's quite it is. It's quite frequent over there. So these group of firefighters, they're called hot shots. That's the literal certification professional name for like the best of the best in forest firefighting, going out and dealing with all of these fires. Yeah, absolutely amazing story.
Is this based on a
Yes, it is.
As well?
Yes,
is it a series or a film?
It's a film.
A docu-film or
No, it's like an adaptation. Yeah, so it's got Josh Brolin in it, who you'll remember for No Country for Old Men. It's got Jeff Bridges in it.
Jeff?
We like Jeff Bridges. He doesn't have a beard in this one, that's new. What's her name now? It was the lady who was in Top Gun very recently.
The newest version.
Yeah. I've forgotten her name. Jennifer something or other. Oh, for heaven's sake. I'm usually really good with actresses and actors and those kind of things.
Is she 40, 50 something actress?
She is, yeah. Jennifer Connelly. That's the one.
Connelly.
Yeah. So it's got quite a few sort of big names in it. And Miles Teller is in it as well, plays a very prominent role. But yeah, absolutely amazing film. Would thoroughly recommend it.
I don't want to get too political, really, but if you go back to the Las Vegas Hillfires recently, when before Trump got back into power, and he said if they'd literally just switched I can't remember now. They had the power. They had war to fight. The fires, but they never fought them.
That's not no. I'll be honest. I don't know an awful lot about that particular set of fighters. I will have to have a bit of a Google and read up on that story. So this one that I watch, it takes place in Arizona, so over the west coast of not west coast, but the West Midland area of America. Really,
are you one of these viewers that ends up Googling it as you're watching it to see what's going on?
Well, I did my degree.
Does it ever ruin the?
Yeah, sometimes. I try and be as careful as I possibly can. But I tend to really Google it after I've watched it. So, you'll look and see like what books came out, what the news articles were all about, who the individuals were, all those kind of things. And I get really invested in it. So I've now ordered the book that the movie It wasn't based on it.
It's basically taken over your life for the time being.
For a second, yeah. Pretty much. And then you and I were at training last night with the lads. Just we'll speak about that.
Absolutely piddled it down, but then
initially
it stopped and. We were allowed to view from a close range.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, It was very enjoyable. Listen, we'll talk about that. I think we should.
Probably.
Maybe at this stage get on back with the show itself.
I think we should, yes.
Okay, we'll speak later. Hello and welcome to the Speaking Frankly Football Show. I'm Frank Hughes, the chairman of Skelmersdale United Football Club, and alongside me is my co-host and passionate press officer, AJ the Jet. Not that being involved with the football club is a prerequisite for hosting a football podcast, but it certainly helps. We are ready to dive headfirst into the vibrant world of non-league football in the Northwest, and we might even take a moment to discuss some of the bigger headlines in the sport. We'll explore life in the Northwest counties, bring you interviews with well-known faces in the league, and analyse how local teams are performing while making bold predictions for their upcoming matches. Nothing is off the limits here. We'll be diving into all kinds of topics, including complicated refereeing decisions and regulations that often leave fans perplexed. We want to hear from you too. This is your show, so don't hesitate to reach out with topics you want us to tackle. Let's get this conversation started and enjoy every single moment. We are speaking frankly. Hello and welcome to Series 2, Episode 19 of the Speaking Frankly Football Show. Almost forgot what I was going to say then.
Yes, you did.
But I managed to recover quickly enough and thus say, from this point onwards, a warm welcome to my co-host, AJ.
Hello Frank, hello everyone, thank you very much for tuning in to another episode of the Speaking Frankly Football Show. If you're not tired of us by now, then you probably never will be. So on the show today, we will of course do a bit of a roundup of the Northwest County's results and news stories, including change at Glossop North End. We're going to look in on the FA Vase action which occurred over the weekend. We'll then look at a few stories, one of which involves Joe Connor, formerly of Southend
Manor FC?
Southend Manor, that's the one. Yep. And as well as a bit of a heated interaction, if you like, between Joey Burns and Scott Hendry. Then we will look at our fixtures, predictions and analysis for the coming week, and then we will finish, as we often do, by looking at Skem United. No guest today, so we're going to do it all in one go. So by all means, pop the kettle on now while you're still listening to us, and then sit down for a good couple of hours of non-stop nattering between two blokes who just surround themselves in non-league football and virtually nothing else. Franklin.
Yeah, well, listen, we'll start with the Premier Division of the Northwest Counties and the story of the week probably is surrounding Glossop North End and the naming of their new manager after a little bit of a, what should we call it? Controversial wobble where, if you remember rightly, Ashley Connor was announced as the replacement for Richard Brodie. He was in charge for one game. They beat Shirebrook Town 5-0 in the Derbyshire Senior Cup, and a few days later, I think after this, so it was a Tuesday, on the Friday, he'd resigned, so they were back to square one looking for a new manager. And I suggested at the time, well, you know, it appears that there wasn't a great deal sort of broken. Maybe it would have been a good idea to bring Richard Brodie back. I think it would have taken a really brave chairman to have taken that stance.
Yes.
But they reverted back to safety because Lee Wilshaw, who's originally was Richard Brodie's assistant manager, he's decided to take the role up on a full-time basis, which surprised me a little bit because you feel as though, or I certainly felt at the time, that there might have been a bit more loyalty towards Richard Brodie, and Richard Brodie might be feeling a little bit hurt. I don't know what you think. I've not spoken to him, so I don't really know.
It's an unusual one, isn't it? Given that at this level, assistants and coaches tend to stay where a manager leaves, which is obviously not the case the further up the professional pyramid you get. It's usually entire management groups that go together.
Well, I think even at this level, they tend to sort of all go together.
Sometimes, yeah. I don't know whether Leith felt that the time was right, that he, that he could step up into that role and kind of take it on for himself. We know from our own experience that Barney has stayed through Nick's departure, and Andy himself was a coach under Nick, and he's now come back to take the management role full time. So I think Lee Wilshaw probably has more loyalty towards Glossop North End and feel that he can do the job. And so it seems Glossop seem to have had a seriously good turn of fortune. They've jumped up 4 places in the league since Lee took over, I think it is. So, and a good turn of results to go with it.
Yeah, they've done exceptionally well. I mean, my question really surrounding Lee Wilshaw is his credentials. If you're part of a losing management team, then it's pretty much the same. If the only thing I would say is that as a chairman of a football club, you would have thought that they had their pockets covered when they decided to sack Richard. To a degree, you've got to be thinking, you don't just sack a manager and then think, all right, what do we do now?
Yeah.
You think, what am I going to do in the event that I do sack the manager? Now, rumour has it, and it is purely speculation, and Lee Hill probably either back this up or deny it, is the fact that he was in the shout for the first team manager's job and refused it. I don't know whether that's true, pure speculation. But if it's the case, then yes, possibly they'd already done the homework and they were looking at recruiting Lee. But like I say, I think Richard will be a little bit disappointed because they felt as though there was a turn in the fortunes. They'd lost 7 games. So off the back of that, Richard was sacked. You can understand that from a football perspective.
Of course, yeah.
It's a results-driven basis.
Yeah,
results-driven business, I should say. So yeah, you can understand it from that. But then if you can see the changes, which everybody seemed to be in agreement, the supporters as well felt as though there was a change about to happen, then you'd have stuck with your management team. Like I say, Lee was Richard's assistant, so there's not a great deal of change there. Other than that, the assistant manager, who's less qualified than Richard, is now running Glossop North End. But nonetheless, we wish them all the best because it's been really tough there. Glossop is a great club run by great people.
Yep.
So we're not slagging them off.
Not
like everybody listen, we're a football, non-league football show. If we didn't talk about the controversial subjects, then we may as well pack in and start
and go watch gardening.
Or knitting for want of a better thing. But yeah, listen, all the best to them. Just seems a bit unusual and maybe a case of a little bit desperately, trying to atone what they've got wrong.
I don't know if they would necessarily say that they got it wrong at this point. It could very well be that Lee had a bit of a different idea of the direction that he wanted to take the club in. I don't think that there's been an awful lot of recruitment on the pitch. I think he's largely kept the same team that Richard had. It just may have been a revitalisation of the squad, in terms of man management. It could be that he takes a bit of a different line to how Richard manage the team.
All the players seem to be right behind him, behind him and Lee, to be fair. So that makes it even more shocking. But listen,
a little bit.
Like you said, the results are coming in. While the results are positive, people are not really going to moan about it too much.
Well, this is absolutely true, and they started off in probably the perfect fashion. So last Saturday, Glossop made the short trip up the A6 to Stockport Town and beat them by 2 goals to 1. Dylan Switters and Jacques Atier putting North End 2 goals ahead. Stockport replied with a goal 2 minutes from time to put a little bit of pressure on North End, but they still came through it with 3 more points to their name. So an excellent start by Lee and his team.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot going on in the Northern Premier League Premier Division, obviously because several teams were involved in the FA Vase, and we'll come to that in a minute. But like you say, Glossop managed a great win. Wythenshawe took advantage as they beat Abbey Hay away from home 2-1, and they creep back into the top 5. But Padiham dropped points again, as they could only manage a draw at FC St Helens, so they had an opportunity to gain a little bit of momentum, but it seems to be quite happening for them at the moment.
They are shaking a little bit, yeah. And as we talked about the deluge that came along and wiped out so many fixtures from Tuesday night, that was true of Padiham, who were 2-0 down at home to Charnock Richard.
So it wasn't getting much better for them.
It was not getting better. No, Charnock Richard very much in the driving seat in that game, and they'll be absolutely furious that game was called off, but equally so, probably a bit galvanised that they could go to Padiham, which is a really difficult place at the best of times, and get a result. We can't really knock FC St Helens, because they seem to be picking up points.
They're a good team.
Oh, they are a very good team. They're sitting in 7th in the league right now, and they were about there or thereabouts for almost the entirety of last season. So I don't think it knocks them too badly. Interestingly enough, FC St Helens opened the scoring in that game through Tom Scarborough, who a couple of days later signed for Clitheroe. So an excellent pathway through the divisions for Tom Scarborough there. He was on loan at St Helens actually from Chorley Town, but has now gone to Clitheroe on a full-time basis. So very well done to him.
Like you say, FC St Helens seem to be a very well-drilled, organised team. Great manager there in the shape of Mike Smith.
Mike Smith, the Centurion, because it wasn't on. I think it was on. It wasn't on Saturday. It was last week. Mike Smith managed his 100th game for FC St Helens.
Did we mention that?
I don't think we did. No, I was. I saw it.
Certainly worth mentioning now, though, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Because he continues to deliver for that team. They are completely in harmony with each other, that squad, and Mike Smith obviously really well backed off the pitch in the shape of Mark Hayes, the director of football, who we know really well, and FC St Helens once again on the charge for the playoff spots here. So very well done to Mike Smith.
And Steve Leather, the chairman, of course, there. We had him on the show last season.
Yep.
He seems to be doing well. They've got their own little YouTube sort of
series?
club series, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well worth watching there. It's about half an hour long.
Is that a bit like in the same shape that Southport have been doing as well?
Yeah, it's primarily focused just on the football club.
Oh, okay.
But really good, done in a professional environment. A well organised studio with cameras.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, something that we need to... Listen, we've said we're going to set it up one day.
We will do.
Yeah, we'll get round to that. But listen, while it's so popular and it's working well, I just don't feel like it's worth changing at the moment.
Of course,
and it's hard work. Hard work just running a audio podcast. I don't think people realise the amount of effort that goes into it. I'm not moaning because I enjoy it.
There we go.
But listen, looking at some of the other results there, FC Alaman must be absolutely gutted. It was 1-1 with full time was up basically. The 90 minutes were up, and then Carl Robinson Murray sort of stepped up and scored a goal on the 92nd minute.
Amazing result for Pilks there to take back across the Irish Sea.
One of the predictions I got wrong.
Yeah, I should imagine I probably got it wrong as well. It was not it wasn't an easy prediction process for all of us, but we don't talk about Pilks an awful lot on the show. I mean, they had an amazing opening day result when they beat West Didsbury and Chorlton 5-2 at the Step Places Stadium. And they're now comfortably in mid-table. I think you and I probably predicted last season, given where they finished, which was, I think, 21st, that they might go down, but they seem to have kicked on really, really well. They're sitting in 12th at the minute in amongst Prestwich Hayes, Stockport Town, Atherton LR, Longridge Town, Chadderton aren't too far away either. So an excellent turnaround from Pilks from last season to this.
Yeah, listen, really nice people involved with Pilks. Lee Jenkinson's the chairman. They've got a relatively young manager in the name of Jack Edwards. They've even recruited Steve Dewsnip, who used to be I think he was the commercial manager at Stalybridge and Southport before that. So they're really set up well to do better than they actually are. So it's no surprise, like you say. Well, it is a bit of a surprise because we weren't expecting them to sort of be in the position that they're in. That said, they're picking up wins here and there. The last game before, the win against FC Isle of Man came during the poor form of Glossop North End when they managed to beat them 2-0, but you have to go back like 3 or 4 games before they won before that. But this obviously is a positive result away from home.
It is, very much so. I saw Pilks play actually in pre-season. They were playing. They were playing Sandbach, and although Sandbach won that game 1-0, there was a lot of pace from Pilks down each of the wings. Did an awful lot of bothering for Sandbach, who were sort of quite worthy of that 1-0 win.
Every time I've watched them, they're always quality. The football is decent football. It's not like it's bad football. It's good football. But much, so where are they in the table now? Did you say?
Pilks. They are currently in 11th.
Yeah, 12th place.
12th, there you go.
12th place, so they're not doing bad, are they?
Not at all. Not at all. So, fair play to Pilks. So I think that sort of rounds up the results from the Premier Division. So, Wythenshawe, a Brian Lee double beat Abbey Hay by 2 goals to 1. A cracker up at Northern Preston, where Longridge Town beat Exton Villa by 4 goals to 3, including a 95th minute winner.
Well, Exton Villa must have been absolutely gutted because they were down 3-2 and they managed to get a goal in the 92nd minute, Dan Singleton's second goal. But then 3 minutes later, the 5th minute of injury time, Liam Atkinson pops up for his hat-trick.
Yeah,
and spoils the...
spoils any succession of the point there for Exton Villa. Good healthy crowd up at Longridge as well, 202.
I love going to Longridge. Have you been to Longridge's ground?
I've been outside Longridge's ground. It was all locked up though when I went.
It's a lovely view when you're there because you view of the Ribble Valley as if the Pendle Hill and all of that in its glory.
And you've got Sainsbury's next door.
And you've got Sainsbury's next door, of course. But I've spent a lot of time up there because many moons ago when my dad was alive, he used to have a caravan in a place called Little Bradford, which is not far from... Little Bradford? Little Bradford. I think it's called Little Bradford. It was the Three Rivers Caravan Park.
Oh, lovely, okay.
So there's one for anybody seeking a holiday around the Ribble Valley.
There you go.
So Division 1 North, as you say.
So Division 1 North, as we say, so I only got one result correct on my predictions there, and that was AFC Blackpool, who comfortably put Ashton Athletic away by 2 goals to 0. Goals in the 70th and 85th minute from the Tangerines boosted them up the league as well. They are now 8th after having played 10 games and won 6 of them. They've kind of passed under our radar of AFC Blackpool. They started off really poor. I think they were without a win in their first 4 games, but now 6 straight wins on the bounce. Propelling them up the table. Not a healthy crowd at the Mechanics Stadium, though. Only 40 turning up for that one, though. I suppose with Garstang and Squires Gate both in action, though, maybe the numbers were pulled that way along the Fylde coast. So Garstang played out a 2-2 draw with Maghull. An excellent result for them at the Riverside.
We'll just go back to AFC Blackpool, though. Wasn't that the gate that was misconstrued last time round and they thought it was 440? Or am I thinking of a totally different team?
No, it was certainly AFC Blackpool. God, you
So there's only 40 people ever go to watch AFC Blackpool. Is that it? That's the limit. Is that their gate capacity?
Yes, it is. It was filled out on the day. No. I believe that was that. I think that was the game that was incorrectly ruled to have had 440 turnout on the Fylde coast for that one. Obviously, it wasn't. There was 40 instead, but nonetheless, another 3 points for the Tangerines there. Meanwhile, further up the coast, Squires Gate were unfortunately on the receiving end of a 2-1 defeat by MSB Woolton, who staged something of a comeback. That's now 2 games unbeaten for the newly promoted MSB Woolton team out of Merseyside. That lifts them over Squires Gate and to 15th place in the league. And then a little bit further down the M55, Garstang with an excellent result there, a 2-2 draw against Maghull, coming back from 2-0 down to take a point from the table toppers.
Yeah, by all accounts, quite disappointed. Joey Burns was, and we will talk about that as we take a controversial corner later on in the show. But something to do with referees and their officials. But listen, they still managed a 2-2. I think he will be really disappointed because we expected to get 3 points there. There is a disparity at the top of the table there, isn't there, with Nelson having only played still 9 games. But
in third place and with 4 games in hand on all the teams.
So you really want to get them points, even if you're way ahead in terms of fixtures. You want to get them points in the bag, don't you?
Yes, you do.
It's just as difficult for those behind with those games in hand to make sure that they get the points in the bag. That said, I think Lower Breck proved it could be done. It was Lower Breck last season, wasn't it, that managed to claw back all those games in hand, or was it Bury?
It was Bury.
Was it Bury?
It was Bury that called back up. They had 7 games in hand on Chadderton at the start of the season.
And they just went on an amazing run.
Yes,
but
they
that
did.
Doesn't always happen. That's the point of making.
No, that's exactly correct. Yes. So, so Maghull took a point at Garstang. The other team that's in the top 3, Ashton Town, they didn't play at the weekend, but they did play on Monday night.
Yeah, they played in the FA Vase, which we're going to come to, but they did play in the league on Monday, and they managed to beat Main Road 3-1.
Yes, they did. So goals from Chad White, Dan Squires, and then Samuel Twist, giving them a comfortable 3-1 win at Brantingham Road in front of 75. So not a bad crowd for Main Road on the Tuesday night there.
No.
But that propels Ashton Town up into second place in the league, albeit with Nelson having 4 games in hand on them. But still not quite tight up there at the top of the First Division North.
Listen, they're going in the right direction now. And Daisy Hill is still going in the right direction.
They
albeit they could only manage a draw against Steeton. But for an 83rd minute equaliser.
It was from the penalty spot, from Steeton, giving them a share of the spoils after another goal by Liam Shepherd. He's on an amazing run of goals. I think that's his 6th in 3 games now. So, really good.
Relatively good form themselves, though. Steeton, aren't they, to be fair?
Steeton are starting to pull back into contention here. They obviously had a terrific start to the season where they were battling out with Maghull for top spot. They had dropped off since then, but a couple of positive results, and they are now up to 11th place, just 1 behind Daisy Hill in 10th. The final result on that, final couple of results on that weekend was Thornton Cleveley's, who lost to Bacup Borough by 2-1. Obviously, Thornton Cleveley is very well supported up there in northern Lancashire, but they were undone by Bacup Borough. Goals from Oliver Hodgson and Kyle Siddle, 2 mainstays of that Bacup Borough team, ensuring that the 3 points went back across the M55.
And if we go back to the beginning of the season, Bacup didn't start their season until late because they were getting ground. Was the clubhouse getting rebuilt?
Yes, the clubhouse was getting approval, so the games have come thick and fast for Bacup Borough. They're now fully up to speed with the rest of the division, having played 12 games now, having won 6 of them, drawn 2 and lost 4, which has seen them sit in quite a healthy 6th place in the table.
Yeah, level on points with Darwin. Darwin seem to be unravelling a little bit. They battered 4-1 by Cone.
Yeah, it was unexpected.
Are Cone revitalised? Are they...
Cone are on a little bit of a revitalisation. They needed that result, though. That was their first win in about 7 games. Right. But a very healthy result it was too at the Hafner Eats Stadium. Goals from Barney Wiggin, Miles Story, Jack Holt, and another goal from Miles Story in the second half, giving them a very triumphant look over Darwin FC. That's seen them shoot up the table into 12th position, while Darwin do still sit in 5th place, but they are level on points now with Bacup Borough and Droylsden, and only a point behind in front of Holker Wars and AFC Blackpool, both of which have games in hand on the team from the Multivo Anchor Stadium.
Yeah. So moving on to Division 1 South. Runcorn Town beat Stockport Georgians 3-1 at home to maintain their 6-point advantage over Eccleshaw, who themselves had to wait until the 10th minute of injury time to beat Asheville.
It's a stunning,
incredible result in the end.
It's an excellent result, but it helps if they have a former professional who's scoring that goal there. So that's Ben Marshall, who was a very pivotal figure for Blackburn Rovers about 8-10 years ago, something like that. He's an excellent player, naturally a winger, but I think he's since converted into a right back. Very much a dead ball specialist there.
Do you know how many goals he's scored so far?
Not that many. I don't think he's a frequent goal scorer. No. His goal scoring hasn't been quite so frequent for Eccleshaw, but nonetheless they've maintained their excellent, albeit very very infrequently mentioned form that maintains their position in second place, 6 points behind Runcorn Town with a game in hand. Telford Town, meanwhile, will be absolutely kicking themselves. They surrendered a result against Wolverhampton Sporting Community. It took a 94th minute equaliser from Joe Kerr to scramble a point for Telford Town, which still keeps them in third position, holding off Barnton and Stockport Georgians' interest.
A bit of a surprise, really.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, we didn't anticipate Wolverhampton Sporting Community giving them that much of a headache. So an excellent result from the Midlands side there, in front of a crowd of 117 in Telford as well. So really good result in front of an unusually large amount of people. Wolverhampton Sporting Community's audiences have been the subject of discussion here on the show when they churned out 15 fans very recently for a league fixture, but they'll be delighted to take a point there at third place Telford. They are still at the bottom of the table, but it closes down their gap between themselves and Hormond to 4 points. Hormond, who were beaten 3-0 by Sporting Community's neighbours, Wolverhampton Casuals. Zach Poskett double there, being the chief instigator for Casuals. Extra 3 points, which sees them up into 15th place.
Yeah, listen, we can move on to the FA Vase now. A little bit of roundup of that. The biggest disappointment of the FA Vase, from our perspective, was Atherton Allar losing away to Liverpool.
Yeah. We obviously have an enormous soft spot there for Atherton Allar and for Davy Jones, but I think he will understand more than just about anybody how difficult it is in a season such as this. With games coming thick and fast, you've got to rotate your squad as much as possible. And they did, in fact, take the lead at Liversedge through Tom Lawless' goal just before the half-hour mark. But Liversedge turned it around after half-time, goes from Joe Walton and Keelan Swales, giving them passage into the third round.
Yeah, I mean, they did particularly well last season, didn't they, in the Vase? I'm just trying to think how far they got.
They made it to the quarter-final.
Is that the fifth round, is it? Or?
Oh, no, that's the quarter-finals. They played Bourne Town, didn't they, and lost on... I think they lost on penalties. So they'd made it really far. They were the last North West Counties team in that competition.
Yeah.
So they'd made an excellent run through that passageway so far. No such luck this time. So Dave has more opportunity to focus on the league positioning of his team. They're not in any danger of relegation, but he'll want to maintain their good form as much as they can. They're currently sitting in 11th, albeit off the back of a deeply difficult 5-match losing run, which he'll want to arrest as soon as he possibly can. Arguably, the best result of the day came on the Sunday, where Forward Amateurs travelled up to Yarm and Eagles Cliff and were 2-0 down inside of an hour through a double from Tom Atkinson, and it looked like they were going out of the competition altogether, even when Spencer Lucas scored what looked like a consolation in the first minute of injury time, but then Ben Jackson popped up with a last gasp equaliser in the 94th minute to send the game to penalties, and Forward Amateurs triumphed 5-4 on penalties there to send them into the third round. And
that's their first foray into the FA Vase. They've never played in the FA Vase before, as far as I'm aware.
That's correct, yeah.
So that's quite an achievement.
That's an excellent result for them, and what a stunning result to make history with there as well. And I'm sure what was a wonderful day, both up to, during, and then after the game. I can only imagine what that team bus will have looked like on the way back down to Forward.
So Droylsden's Nelson Van scored a hat-trick against Northwich Vicks, and in doing so has now reached the 10 goal mark this season. He scored 10 goals, so quite an achievement for him.
That's excellent.
But even better that they've managed to progress into the next round. And of course, we do know that it's been really a difficult season for Droylsden. They've been up and down, backwards and forwards, and they've managed to progress to the third round, which is good.
Yeah, it is. It's a good bit of breathing space for Droylsden as well. So in front of a crowd of 498 at the Butcher's Arms, they beat Northwich Vicks by 4-2. So they're now into the third round of the FA Vase, as well as sitting in 4th place in the First Division North. So Dave Pace's team are firing as much as they can on all fronts, and I think with Nelson Van heavily involved in that procession up the table and through the tournaments.
And Bearscough, they continue their good form with a 3-1 win over Ashton Town at the community stadium. Bearscough were cruising 2-0 up with 3 minutes to go until Daniel Squires snatched one back. Sam Turner restored their advantage in the 7th minute of injury time. A tasty sort of end to a largely comfortable game with a bit of handbags at the end.
Was there?
A typical cup tie, as Dave Dempsey mentioned.
Yeah.
In his post-match interview.
Well, there's never a good cup tie without a little bit of controversy to go with it. I think from a Bearscough point of view, and certainly from the man in the stands, Jay Hawkes, he'll be very pleased that 156 people turned out at the community ground to watch that game. Ashton obviously not being particularly far away from Bearscough, it's just a short trip up the M6 to manage it, but nonetheless he'll be thrilled at the turnout of people to support his side there.
It helps having a good cup run.
It does help having a good cup run.
There's no doubt about that. And
yeah.
Listen, Holker Old Boys, Barnoldswick, Charnock, Cheadle and Earlham have all bowed out sadly. So we'll look at the third round of the FA Vase, which should take place on Saturday the 6th of December. Albion Sports at home to South Liverpool. Chadderton versus Bearscough. Droylsden versus Forward Amateurs. Ramsbottom United versus Nelson. Rossington Main versus West Didsbury and Chorlton, and Winsford United versus Prestwich Hayes. The tie of that competition, probably Chadderton versus Bearscough. It's an interesting one.
That is a pretty interesting one. Chadderton and Bearscough both in the upper reaches of the Premier Division, both looking at playoff contention as a real possibility there. So it'll be interesting to see who values the cup run more and who values promotion more, and whether both teams, or either team actually, can fight it on on both fronts. I think from a personal perspective, I think the tie of the round has got to be Ramsbottom United versus Nelson.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you there. That's a cracking tie. That two teams at the top of their game.
Yeah.
Different divisions, obviously, but it will show you what the gulf is between the two, one would imagine.
Yeah, it would, and whether... and I think... For Aaron Ripley, he'll be licking his lips at the prospect of standing toe-to-toe with a heavyweight of the Premier Division as his Nelson side look to eye up promotion as a very real and serious possibility there. So he'll want to see what his boys can do when they travel to the Harry Williams Riverside Stadium in BL9.
Yeah, just make sure you're carrying cash.
Make sure you're carrying cash. It is cash only on the gate. And that's an excellent tie. That
after the way the season started for South Liverpool, they seem to be building up a great head of steam, don't they? And they're doing really well in the FA Vase as well. It's looking really good for them at the moment.
So they're playing Albion Sports. So Albion Sports were the conquerors of Holker Old Boys. They had 3 goals within 5 minutes at the very end of the game from Mohamed Kassim, Ellis Wade and then Nathan Cartman, securing them passage into the third round at the expense of Holker Old Boys. So an excellent result for Albion there, and their reward for that is a home game against South Liverpool, who will be an altogether different prospect. They who sit in 8th in the Premier Division there. So again, they're eyeing up the playoffs with a little bit of prospect as well. I'll be very looking forward to seeing if they can make it into the 4th round after the weekend's fixtures on December the 6th.
And it was a 4-0 home win against Barton Town, which you put them into the draw for the 3rd round.
Yeah, it was. So
really, really good result there. I don't know much about Barton, but I'm trying not to get confused with Barnton.
No, different.
But Barton Town, 2 different...
Barton Town are from Yorkshire, Humberside area.
Don't know a great deal about them, but listen, you can only beat what's put in front of you, and they've certainly done that. It looks good for them.
Very much so. Yeah.
Just listen, for anybody that doesn't know, I think this is the stage now. After this stage, the 3rd round... the draw is no longer regionalised, so you go into the 4th round draw and you can be drawn anywhere in the country, which makes it even more interesting and more exciting.
Now, what does that look like financially? Is there any kind of...
Well, the money's really rubbish, isn't it? I mean, I got the figures out last week, and
we never covered it, did we?
We didn't cover it, and you just carry on talking between yourselves, and I'll see if I can find out what the prize money is. I don't know whether to threw it away or not. But it's not... did we not discuss it at all?
No, I actually don't think we did.
It's poor.
Is it poor?
Yeah, it's really poor, let's put it that way. I don't think I've got... I think I must have tried to cover it in another show a few weeks ago. But listen, we get that off. Listen, you can start Googling that while I'm talking, because... I'm good at waffling on while you're doing all the stats bit. So listen, let's move on to the Northern Premier League and the National League North. Marine and Southport have gone from strength to strength in recent weeks. Particularly Marine, who've risen from a rocky start to the season to now sit in 8th place in the National League North. They're now on 26 points. I think the sandwich between... is it Kidderminster and Macclesfield, which is 2 quality football clubs of that professional, full-time professional football clubs, so doing really, really well. As we know, both clubs are under new management. Bobby Grant is at Marine and Neil Dans at Southport. New to management, but finally appears finding the feet in management, and really good on the club, and the chairman for having faith in them. Yeah, basically. So what you've got the prize money come up.
So
what do they get for winning in the 2nd round? So
if you win in the 2nd round, you get £725.
Oh, it's crap. Pardon me, French.
Yeah. That's the 2nd round qualifying. So if you actually win in the 2nd round, you get £900 as the winner, £275 as the loser.
Well, I mean, in terms of, crikey, even that, it doesn't go up significantly. And I know they changed things a few years ago where the losers get a few bob. I don't agree with that at all.
I think it'd be,
Unless I'm a loser, I'm going to agree
with it. I mean, as sort of Skem volunteers, we haven't had much reason to be interested in prize money.
But you look at that there, you're talking about £900 for, if you get drawn away to, I don't know, Redcar. Who got drawn to Redcar? I can't remember. But for example, that's going to cost you about anywhere between £600 and £900 for the coach.
I think so. I mean, it cost us over £700 to travel to Selby.
What did it cost us to go to Bury?
To Bury?
Yeah,
I don't know.
The first season.
I wasn't there.
We booked a coach to go to Bury, and I think that cost us about £700.
Horrible, isn't it?
It's ridiculous. But the prize money.
If you are a coach, driver, owner, operator, please feel free to get in touch with us and put us on a retainer for your services, because we'd really like that when we start doing our cup adventures again, which should be sort of sooner rather than later. Our address is We're Not Tight, We Promise, Skelmersdale United, Dalton, Skelmersdale. So let us know. Anyway, if you get to the fourth round, which is where the draw starts to open up nationally.
Yeah.
As a winner, you get £1,875. And as a loser, you get £600.
What round is that? The
fourth.
The fourth.
Yes.
So, okay, they're in the third round. What do they get if they win the third round?
If they win the third round, you get £1,125. And you get £350 for losing. If you're going to lose, you better lose at home, really, where you can get like a bit of a good gate and minimal transport costs.
It's split, though, isn't it?
Is it?
The gates are split.
Oh, God!
But then you've got to take out the
referee
travelling costs as well as the refereeing costs.
Oh, that's
and then the other.
So you're really making tuppence and halfpenny, really, from that.
You've got to do really well. You've got to have a decent gate, and this is where the likes of, Droylsden, who do. If you were full wood amateurs, you'd want that draw because you're going to get about 400 or 500 people there. You're actually going to come out of that with a small profit.
I think you probably are, yeah. So if we think about how good Atherton LR's run was last season, they made it to the quarterfinals, which for this is the sixth round. As the losing club, they banked, well, if they were going to do it this year, they banked in the region of £1,300 as the losing club. If they had won that, they'd have pocketed just over £4,000.
Yeah, so it gets interesting round about the quarterfinals.
It really does. Yeah.
And what do you get? What do you get for winning the cup itself?
£30,000.
£30,000, which is
that's the same as our costs for a year.
It's decent, isn't it?
It is.
That's okay once you get to the final, and of course, but then. I don't know whether you'd actually make any money in the final unless you've got really huge crowds because it's played at Wembley. I would imagine the costs of being the host in that competition would be really, really high.
Do you know what? I know Wembley is like the centre point of English football and all of that stuff. I'd sooner have it in somewhere like the Midlands where it's easy for all points.
I don't know. I'd sooner have the final at Wembley. I mean, I look back to the FA Trophy win that Bearsco had, a few years ago. Was it 2003? Was it 2003? And because Wembley wasn't finished, they played their final at Villa Park.
Yeah.
I'd sooner go to Wembley. It's the prestige, isn't it?
Have you ever been to Wembley?
Yeah, I've been loads of times.
What, to the new one?
To the new one as well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, Everton, don't forget, Everton have been there a couple of times.
They
played Chelsea in the FA Cup final.
2009, I remember.
They played Liverpool in the semi-finals before they lost to that big donkey.
Ah, yes, Andy Carroll, I remember.
Yeah. Broke my heart that day.
I know.
And then on the return journey, I parked in one of the... services, and at the time I had a customised car with low spoilers on it. And
did you?
Yeah, believe it or not, yeah. I went through one of them phases,
What, a midlife crisis?
Well, I've said, haven't I, that some people, when they have a midlife crisis, they either buy a sports car, or they have an affair with a much younger woman, or what was the other one?
A motorbike?
I don't know about
a tattoo
so much as that, but whatever they were anyway. But I'd settle on 5 minutes at the Comedy Store.
Okay.
5 minutes at the Comedy Store.
So what kind of car did you have?
Me? Well, it was.
Yes, you.
I can't. It was no. I'm quite embarrassed to mention what car it is. So
was it a Mazda?
I'm not going to mention the car. But what I would say to you is, when I was reversing from the curb, it grabbed me bumper, me spoiler.
Oh no!
I took it out, and then my mate had to tie it up because I had a bad back then as well. So he tied it up, and we trundled all the way back home, and it cost me because it didn't go through my insurance. It cost me £1,300 to replace it. So the most expensive journey I've had to Wembley, and we got beat by Liverpool as well. So
rub salt in the wounds there.
Yeah. But Wembley, the new Wembley is fantastic. A little bit like going to any new stadium.
Yeah.
Went to Everton's the other week, and that's a fantastic stadium as well.
Dickinson, yeah.
So you all want to get. Everybody wants to get to a final. If they're going to get to a final, you want to get to Wembley.
Of course you do. Yeah, I suppose so.
Well, listen. Let's go back to we were talking about the Northern Premier League. Just going to mention that Trafford beat Stafford 4-3.
It's an excellent result for Trafford.
Yeah, and they held high-flying Shifnal Town to a 2-2 draw before that. So they seem to have done... Yeah, because they've been anchored to the bottom, haven't they? I think they've had 6 points. I think they're on 9 now after the recent win. So there's a little bit of a revival there for Trafford.
They really needed that as well, yeah.
Clitheroe are not doing particularly well. It's topsy-turvy.
A little bit.
Gates have dropped as well, so I think they had 661 at their game on Saturday.
Yeah, so that game on Saturday was a 2-0 win over Congleton Town. 2 weeks before that, they'd lost away at Witton Albion by 1-0 in a game that manager Sean McConville characterised as very poor, and actually remarked that some of his players would have played their last game for Clitheroe in that game.
Remember the interview
in Blackburn. Yes. So following on from that, he then dipped into the transfer market, made 6 new signings, including Harry Scarborough, who signed from Chorley Town. He's also signed 2 defenders and a goalkeeper in amongst all of that, and they won 2 games on the bounce. The first one being a visit to Wythenshawe, where they won by 2-0, and then beating Congleton Town by the same scoreline at the Loom Loft Stadium as well. And that game, I think it was the Congleton game. So no, it wasn't. It was the Wythenshawe game, which was marked out as notable because Sefton Gonzalez came off the bench and scored in it.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so proving that he is back to fitness at the age of 34. He is a bit more of a revival coming there from Sean, and I think more of what he expected from his team. They're now up to 13th in the division.
Yeah, I always feel it. I felt from the very start it's been a difficult baptism for him in management. And I think it's gone on. It's topsy-turvy. Listen, the Gates have gone down. I think they were averaging around about 800 or 900, weren't they, last season? And it's gone down to 661. That we already know. I think it was at the end of last season they were worried about finances, weren't they?
They certainly were. Yeah, Carl Garner and Sean were actually very open about that. Saying that I think the new chairman, although he's a business owner, it's in fashion, and he hasn't got that much intention of ploughing an awful lot of money into Clitheroe itself, does he?
And I'm okay. Similar to the Southport new ownership there as well. I think you've got to be able to float in whatever division you are and be self-sustainable. There's no doubt about it. The minute you start going down that route, well, once the person that's funding it gets fed up, they move on. Mm-hmm. They tend to leave you in a bit of debt.
Yeah.
And then you've got to recover from that, and it's happened too many times to too many clubs. But you see, Clitheroe, if the passion's there, if it's good, if they get their breaks, if it's good enough, the standard of football, people will come out and support them.
Yeah.
The gates will go up, and they'll have some form of success.
I think so.
I think the expectations of some, particularly from the supporters,
a bit too high.
And I think that's been the problem for Skem for many years. If I'm honest, we can't we can't trade off the successes of the past. Going to Wembley twice, well, we've just gone for 2 days out. That's all it is in 182 years, 143 years.
Yeah.
Since 1882, it doesn't guarantee you success
just
because you've had a rich pedigree.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. And unfortunately, fans are a bit of a fickle bunch. We've seen it ourselves. Support has gone from 400 as it was when we were in the Northern Prem down to less than 100 now at the Marine Travel Arena. And
it's hard to believe, isn't it? If you go further back than that, when we were playing Slough in the quarterfinals of the FA Amateur Cup, we had 7,500 people. I mean, you imagine having 7,500 people at the old stadium, albeit White Moss Park at the time. Just imagine 7,500 people.
God.
Converging on a Skem game. But like I say, you can't trade off history. You really can't. You just hope it repeats itself at some stage.
Yeah, you have to move with the times, unfortunately. And that's the thing. That's the thing for everybody. That's every single club, whether professional or non-league.
Yeah.
They all have their sort of glory years and then their foundering moments, if you like, when they're just forced to float and survive and just hope that they start getting good results here and there. We're experiencing our flotation period now, albeit with an excellent squad and a brilliant management team.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. Anyway. So listen, Bury Football Club, following a draw at Bootle on Saturday, Bury returned to winning ways with a convincing 4-1 win at Nantwich on Tuesday night, so well done to them. Lower Breck is still the team to beat with a 4-point lead over Shifnal Town. Big game tonight, and I don't know whether it was, as we're recording now on the Wednesday night, it's now 7:20. What time kickoff is it? Quarter to 8?
Is
it quarter to 8? So it's a big game tonight, and we'd have loved to have been there, wouldn't we?
I think we can make it there. You put your foot down, we'll be in there. We'll be in Liverpool in a jiffy.
Yeah, wouldn't that be great? But yeah, listen, like I say, big game tonight because Breck entertain Avro.
Avro are third, are they right now? Fourth?
Where are they, Avro? They're about fourth. I think they dropped down to fourth. But a win tonight will see them move up into second place. Put them just 2 points behind Lower Breck. I don't see that happening. I think Lower Breck are going to win this one.
I think so.
There's something about Lower Breck.
Yeah, they've lost one game all season, and then this is in the Northern Premier League West. That's absolutely ridiculous. I know. Really.
And they go 7 points clear if they win, by the way, so that'd be great for them. FC United, who are the early pacemakers in the Northern Premier Division, were beaten by both Warrington sides over the last few days. A 1-0 defeat at Rylands, which wasn't such a shock as their leaders of the pack.
Yes.
But a 3-0 defeat at Warrington Town on Tuesday night was a bit more concerning.
Yeah, a little bit. I think FC United they'll tell you that they're probably finding the division, an awful lot more difficult than perhaps they anticipated. But it's a competitive league. It really is. I mean, that top spot seems to be changing every single week when we reconvene for another recording of the episode. So right now at this point, as you said, it is Warrington Rylands who I think are
they're top of the division.
Yeah, exactly. But that could easily change. Depending on results. Lancaster City were there a few weeks ago. Hensford Town are still in with a shout of being there. So it's deeply, deeply competitive.
It's one of those. It's one of those leagues or one of those divisions where you come to the end of the season and they've lost probably a dozen games and they've still won the title.
This is true.
That's how competitive those leagues are. But talking about Warrington Town, always had a soft spot for them. They were having a little bit of a sort of transitional period themselves. They've managed 2 wins on the trot now since an 8-0 defeat at Hebburn on the 1st of November. So I think their recruitment is improved slightly during that period, and hopefully they'll go from strength to strength because they were languishing around the sort of bottom 3-4 positions early doors in the season, so hopefully they'll go on to do greater things. But like I say, I think it's definitely one of those divisions. I'd love to look at last season's finishing spots. I bet you're looking at probably some teams at the top have lost 10, 12 games.
You might be right.
And still managed to win the title. So there's a lot to play for. It's a very competitive league, and I'm sure FC United will be there or thereabouts.
Yeah, they're still in third place in the league with 2 games in hand on Warrington Rylands and only a 5-point gap. So there's every opportunity for them to head on back up there. By the end of the month, really. Yeah. It's all very, very competitive.
And just to split this totally into 2 different halves, I'm just going to mention something here now that I read earlier on, and I forgot to mention it. But before we go to the controversial corner, I was told today that Britain is heading into a geomagnetic storm. It's set to hit Britain. Has something to do with the long-range weather forecast by Cape Canaveral or something to do with spaceships. Have you read anything?
No.
No.
I haven't.
So I'll get everybody worrying now. But this geostorm, it's I don't think we've had something like this in 20 years. So it's going to be really, really bad.
Oh.
So batten down the hatches whenever that happens.
Oh, God.
Have
they got no anticipation of when this might be?
I don't know, but listen, the first signs of it is when you see trampolines on dual carriageways.
Yeah.
Breaking down fences.
Oh God, I live right near a motorway as well.
Do you? Oh, just be careful of the trampolines. Have you seen how much damage they can do?
Yes.
They fly, them things,
The other one is garage doors.
Garage doors.
Garage doors can literally fly off the handle.
Yeah.
Go and hit anybody. Right, that's fine.
You certainly don't want to put your dirty laundry on the washing line that day, do you?
No. Because you'll end up retrieving your boxes from Southport, quite honestly. We're in Scam.
Quite embarrassing. But listen, if things couldn't get any more embarrassing, we turn ourselves to the controversial corner. Now, Angry Ginge, also known as Morgan Birtwistle, is now officially a celebrity. So his career seems to be going from strength to strength. But my question is he actually, has he got any talent at all? To suggest that he is a celebrity. But first of all, a disclaimer. His talent is evidently made up of the content he creates and the fact that he's turned his armchair into a valuable asset by videoing himself playing on a computer. I think they play FIFA, don't they, amongst other games. So fair play to him. I don't understand it myself, but anyone that can make money from doing that is a genius as far as I'm concerned. Now, I look at the likes of Steve Bracknell. You know Steve Bracknell, don't you?
He's the stand-up comedian and actor.
Well, he's sort of a comedian now, isn't he? What he's done is he's the assistant manager of the fictional club, the Royal Oak. I think he's taken it on stage recently. And I love the comedy that's related to it. I think he's an actual talent. He's a good actor. His comedic timing is perfect. If you watch some of his videos, they make you laugh. You know what I mean? And there's a fair bit of acting goes into that. He's a great little talent, and I like that. But Angry Ginger, I've met him before 2 seasons ago. Bearsco were playing Earlham at Earlham, and I think there was James, myself, and Nick Matthews, believe it or not. We all went down to watch the game. So James was really made up to meet him in real life, as he's a big gamer, as is my other son, Frank. But for me, I'm totally oblivious to it, so I don't know what it is that people see in Angry Ginge.
Well, the reason that he's officially a celebrity is that he's now on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, isn't he? That's the TV show that he's appearing on. He's also appeared on the most recent installation of
Traitors?
No. The football match. What's it called?
The
Soccer Aid.
Soccer Aid.
Were you thinking Live Aid as well?
I was going to say Live Aid. Yeah. I'm glad I didn't in the end, because that would have been embarrassing. But listen, there's no shock really here. Angry Ginge is a friend of Bracknell, as far as I know, but he's also friends with Aaron Hunt, who's the chairman of Daisy Hill.
Yep.
And Daisy Hill Stadium is named the Ginge Power Stadium now,
isn't it? Yeah.
So Angry Ginge is sponsoring them. So listen, there's something good coming out of his input. He also has 1.3 million followers and is also the bookies' favourite to win I'm a Celebrity even at this point.
Wow.
You can see why they picked him to go on the show, because he has a huge following. And he should get quite a few votes, which I think that when you're voting for anybody in the jungle, you have to pay, don't you? Something like 50 pence or £1, is it, to vote?
Yes, you do. Which has been the case since I'm a Celebrity first started in about 2005, when Tony Blackburn won it. Remember Tony Blackburn?
Yeah. The man that could bore a glass eye to sleep.
There it is. Yeah, exactly.
I think he's totally different. This Angry Ginge. There's a little bit about him. He's a bit of a character. And listen, if he's not a celebrity now, he certainly will be by the time that he comes
out of the jungle.
Comes out of the jungle, unbelievably only 23 years of age. Seems to have been around for a hell of a long time.
Yeah, I mean, YouTubers start early, don't they? So I think he started early. I think he started when he was about 18, 19, something like that, and he's just, the awareness of who he is has just shot up as we move into that kind of generation of people who are enamoured by online and social media personalities, which they weren't when I was growing up.
Did you ever watch I'm a Celeb?
I watched it two seasons, so 2023 I watched it, when that was Tony Bellew, Nigel Farage, Sam Thompson, the little jockey fella, Tony,
McCoy?
Yes, Thingy McCoy. Amy McCoy, that's the one. Yeah, when he was on. So I watched it then.
What attracted to you to it?
Sam Thompson, to be honest. I'm a big fan of Sam Thompson, who is a TV personality. He was on Made in Chelsea.
Oh, right.
Suddenly, and he's done very well for himself on Hits Radio and with his own podcast called Staying Relevant, which is initially about how celebrities who were in kind of the heyday of reality television, such as Made in Chelsea, The Only Way is Essex, how they
he's a reality star in himself.
He is a reality TV star, but he's one. He ended up winning the jungle 2 years ago, and he's done exceptionally well from it. But I think you have to win it or come very far through the journey to be able to make anything big from it.
And is he still doing that now?
Sam Thompson? Yeah, he sold out the London O2 with his recent podcast live performance. I've actually seen him live as well when he came to Manchester as well. Did brilliantly well, and they've just released a
So what is his forte? What does he do on stage?
So
what does he talk about?
He's known for being exceptionally energetic. He has ADHD. He's the classic version of ADHD as well. He's very loud, very boisterous. But what he tends to do is he tends to talk about things that he's been up to recently in terms of how he tries to stay relevant in an industry that's kind of moving on from reality TV stars to YouTubers and social media content creators.
Is it a short life for content creators? It doesn't seem to be that way at the moment, but can you see Angry Ginge being as relevant when he's 50? Do you think what he's doing now by going into the jungle now, do you think he's making that next step because he realises that he's got to diversify a little bit?
Yes, I think so. I don't know how much there'll be of content creators and influencers when they're all 50. I think there'll be something new. I think there'll be another kind of generation defining industry that takes a hold of it and makes so much money out of it in the way that for us it was reality TV stars for my generation, and for this one it's YouTubers.
Do you think that's why the likes of Aaron Hunt has got involved in Daisy Hill, because he's diversified?
I think they've all got to diversify. I think they've all got interests that are going to keep them busy. They've got to stay on TV and stay as relevant as they can, to keep people coming to their YouTube channels and what have you.
Because I think we mentioned it last week, we don't hear them as much, or maybe I don't, because I don't do any research on it, but it's not in my face anymore.
No.
The Aaron Hunt situation, the results, and Nicky Hunt and what he's doing at the football club now have taken over from him.
Yeah.
How does he reinvent himself? Because there's a very little there's not a great deal of traction in what's going on at Daisy Hill anymore.
True. Yeah, I think Aaron Hunt probably has to revert to type for now, and get back to what he was good at, which is investigating weird hotels and just kind of making kooky little videos like that, and kind of think about his next big move that's going to keep him relevant. But I think Angry Ginger's probably surpassed him. I think
there was never sort of a comparison, really, was there? I think what happens with these. What do you call them again? Social media influencers. I think what they do is they help other people. I forget what they call it now, but when you tag somebody into your stream or whatever it is, there's a wording for it. You end up getting more viewers, and I think that's what happened for...
I think it is tagging, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Angry Ginge, he got helped along, and then he surpassed whoever helped him.
Yeah.
Aaron Turner, ex-Skem player, Aaron Hunt, I think he's been helped, being given a foot up, step up the ladder by Angry Ginge and so forth.
Okay.
That will continue to happen. I think, like you say, Angry Ginge is on a totally different level.
Yeah.
We know this. What's the football?
United.
United FC.
Yeah.
And what is it called? The Ballers League?
Yeah, something like that.
So the Ballers League, I don't watch it. Apparently it's on Sky.
Yeah.
But Steve Bracknell now, as far as I know, the fictional character is taking over the management of United for the next 3 weeks or however long
he's in the jungle.
While he's in the jungle.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of interest there, but there's no sort of involvement in Aaron Hunt. I noticed on social media that they've wished him all the best.
Okay.
But apart from that, I don't know whether they get any traction. It just seems to me that it's not worked with Daisy Hill.
Not in
the social media, the content creation that was supposed to improve its finances. It must have done to a degree.
Yeah, Lee Hill mentioned it when he posted his kind of resignation letter to the fans. That's what he said, is that there'd be more money in the coffers than he ever thought possible. There was renovation works that were going on at the stadium during the summer. They've now be able to afford to bring in good quality players that are starting to get them up the league. So I think there is some substance to what they were doing. I just don't think it's been prolonged quite as much as what we thought. There's still no 600-700 capacity crowds turning up at the Ginge Power Stadium. I think it's back down to its 150-200 mark, something like that, which is still really good.
In your opinion, is there still space in football, particularly non-league football, for content creators?
Yeah, I think there's always...
It's worked with Dorking, hasn't it?
It has worked with Dorking, yeah. We're seeing it work with, I know it's to a different degree, but what Southport and Granby Toxteth Athletic are doing with social media, and particularly YouTube. They are starting up documentaries to kind of get, publish what's going on behind the scenes and off the pitch, which is, that's excellent. I watched the video of Granby Toxteth when they came to us and played against us. That was was an excellent video. Really enjoyed it. So there is still scope for creativity there, but I think it's getting more and more niche. I think there's sort of opportunity. There's still the old adage of we've seen it before with such and such a team. I think it just, if you really love a team,
I think you've got to put money into it, haven't you, to make it successful. And Aaron has said himself he wants it. He wants the football club to sustain itself. Yeah. So you can't do both, can you? You can't throw money into it and expect it to sustain itself later on in its life.
This is true. Yeah.
So listen, all very interesting. Good luck to Angry Ginge. Power to the Ginge. Yeah. So listen, we'll move on there. So Aaron Sevior, I don't know how you pronounce it, but was the player manager of Shepton Manor AFC until he was sacked via email, along with his assistant Matt Morris. Both were dual registered with another club, and with an eye on a game ahead for Shepton, they decided to sharpen up on their fitness by playing a game for them. They did it. It was apparently all agreed in advance, but for some reason, after it had taken place, the chairman decided to replace them.
Because they've been dual registered with another club.
Yeah, I mean, it's bizarre anyway, isn't it? I mean, I was going to do more research into this to see what actual club it was that they were playing for, but time didn't allow me to do it. And it'd probably be nice to get Aaron on the show, but we did try to get Joe Connor on the show, who was sacked by text message, so we featured that on last week's show. So it seems to be a reoccurring theme, this, about either getting sacked by text or email, and the argument over cowardice and everything else,
and professionalism. And I think the song remains the same. You still got to treat your club as being as professional as what it possibly can be, and I don't think any club in the Premier League would dare sack a manager via email or text message, and I don't think it should be the same for teams down at our neck of the woods.
Well, arguably, people still moan about the fact that some managers get sacked by phone. Sometimes you have to before the rabbit gets out of the bag.
Yeah.
Is it a rabbit out of the bag?
Cat
out of the bag. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, I'm all for changing terminology, but so it seems to me like, well, if the club knew about it, and maybe they were just looking for a reason to sack them. I think it's bizarre, actually.
Why are they dual registered in the first place?
You imagine now Andy Barlow and John Barney are dual registered with Bearscough Football Club, and they go to play for Bearscough because we haven't got a game on. I don't think I'd be very happy with that.
No, I wouldn't.
So I don't know. I don't know what they think. I don't know where their politics are on it. I'm pretty sure they won't want to talk a great deal, as Joe Connor didn't in the end, because I think he's received a fair bit of stick as well as compassion, and obviously will want to manage again at some stage. So you've got to be very careful what you say in this day and age. There's no such thing as freedom of speech any longer.
There is. There's just not freedom of consequence.
Yeah, you can say it, and then you've had it.
You've got to deal with it.
Yeah,
you've got to deal with kind of what comes ahead. It's been very rare. I don't think I've ever known a player manager to be dual registered with another club, because it almost feels like a bit of a conflict of interest that your attention isn't solely focused on the club that you're managing.
Yeah.
So to a degree, I can understand why Shepton Mallet would be irritated by that. I certainly wouldn't see that it being as grounds to sack him.
No, but if they knew about it and they accepted it,
why have they turned their backs now?
Yeah, listen, if you're looking for an excuse to get rid of a manager, that's probably one of them.
That's
but listen, unless we get the opinions of both sides, we will never really know what's gone on there. But listen, it's another case of sacked by text.
Yeah, it is. Sort of deeply disappointing pattern that we're seeing.
Listen, we mentioned Joey Burns at the start of the show, and McGull's 2-2 draw with Garstang. Now, after the game, became quite controversial. So Scott Hendry, who's a level 5 senior county referee, was responding to a post by former guest Joey Burns, the McGull manager. He posted a picture showing where the assistant referee was when he gave the wrong decision. Now, he wasn't in line with the players, and he let a blatant offside play go totally unpunished. Now, we've seen the picture, which has since been taken off by Joey.
I think the move that he missed resulted in a goal, didn't it?
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. As it happened. I asked the question whether it was the goal that they got a goal just before half time, which got them back into the game. But no, this was just an example of what was going on during the show, during the game. Yeah. Now, look, it's a very grainy picture, but looking at the picture itself, it looked as though that the assistant liner might have been, or assistant referee might have been, of a golden era, but I don't know. But he was certainly way off. He was certainly way off the pace in terms of he was nowhere. So there's something like a 6-yard gap between them. So you imagine the two attacking players are over the halfway line by about 1.5 yards. The assistant liner is about 1.5 yards into the D. Or the centre circle. Now, the centre circle from the halfway line is 10 yards. So taking maybe 3 yards, 4 yards from it, at least 6 yards, he wasn't in line with it at all. He was 6 yards away from it. So anyway, this is what Joey said. Joey said, step 6 football for you, but you can't say anything to them. You just got to accept it. This was, as the ball was being played, by the way, just wanted to get the position of the liner in, not offside. Laughing emojis. To which Scott replied, I appreciate that the liner was miles out of position and the wrong decision was made. However, what's the point in posting it? Do you post when your team misplaces a pass or your forward misses a sitter? I bet not. Step 6 teams, but wanting Premier League officials. So Scott has got a point, in a way, of course, but Joey rightly livid at the decision. Because, like I say, by 6 yards at least.
Yeah. It sets a really bad precedent, though, doesn't it? If a linesman is 6 yards off the pace of play. Now,
he's ahead of it. So he's in their half.
Yeah.
The attacking half.
Yeah.
But he's actually sort of just inside that centre circle.
Yeah.
In the attacking mode.
Right.
The 2 players that have not broke the offside, but are in an offside position.
Yeah.
So McGull are all stationed in their half, and the 2 players, I think it's the 9 and 10, or the 10 and 11, they're about 2 yards over the halfway line. So even with that distance, you'd have thought he'd have seen it.
You would have thought he would have seen it. Yeah, if he was ahead of the game in that manner. Why was his positioning that far off? It's really unusual. I think I'm more inclined to agree with Joey than with Scott. And the reason is that we anticipate referees to set the example of how the game is played in all laws and facets. We understand when referees make a mistake and linesmen make a mistake. And it's really hard to make judgments of decisions on the play because you've got nothing to go back to. You haven't got a VAR or anything like that. But I think linesman and referee could at least be expected to uphold the laws of the game as best they can, and
you've got to get the fundamentals right.
You do have to get the fundamentals right, and I think for the linesman to be out.
But if it's a 50-50 decision, we know, or it's hard to detect which is the right or wrong decision. We can forgive officials for that, can't we? But when it's so blatantly obvious, I mean, even the referee must have seen that.
You would hope that the referee must have seen that. Now, luckily enough, it didn't result in a goal.
No,
but nonetheless, I think it just kind of re-emphasises the point that the standard of refereeing at this level, which we've talked about before, is sometimes really frustrating to deal with because of how wrong they can be.
I've mentioned it before. If you're not at a decent level of fitness, why would you even contemplate being a referee or a referee's assistant for all the stick that you take? So if you're overweight, you're getting on in years. It's not a pastime. This is not it should not be treated as a hobby.
No.
Football, and even at this level, when a sort of referee at that level, step 5, senior county referee, responds by saying, well, what you expect. You're a non-league football team, but non-league football clubs are run at cost. It costs an awful lot of money, and it matters hugely.
Yeah.
It's not like McGull are out of the race. They're not middle of the table. No. The top of the league. They're playing to win that league now. Yeah, they're playing for something, and it costs money to do that. So my opinion is that I feel sorry for Joey, because you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. So he's made it known on social media, and he's taken an awful lot of flack for it. So he's decided to take it off and said, I've had enough of this. I can't deal with it. One post and it's got this much traction. It's unbelievable. So I think he, from his perspective, feel really, really sorry for him, because he's obviously frustrated, wanted to make a point. The point's probably backfired on him. a little bit.
Shouldn't have done, though. I do agree with him.
Yeah, I know, but you know what the trouble is now? Most people would turn around and they would side with Joey, but the minute that Joey said something, put it online, it's like it attracts people that want to be oppositional.
Yeah.
So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah.
Most people that are involved with non-league football will get it, considering what the stakes are so high.
Yeah.
But I think referees need to shut up then. Why does he come on? Why does he have to come on and comment on it? Because he's a referee and he's protecting his fraternity?
You really understand he's protecting his fraternity. I would have liked to think that he'd be a bit more diplomatic about it. Do you post when your team misplaces a pass or a forward misses a sitter? Well, no, obviously we don't. But we don't have an opportunity to tell that to referees to then ensure that they learn from it. If we didn't, they wouldn't.
They don't finance the game.
No.
The missed kicks,
no.
They don't. But the actual official side of it, where you are constructing the flow of play, if somebody is offside, you call it.
Yeah.
If they're not, you don't. But from that, I mean, like they say, we're quite fortunate, really, because it didn't lead to a goal. But yeah, I feel sorry for anybody now that puts up an argument, particularly when he's right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like he's wrong.
No,
if you put something up and it's not even a contentious issue. It's an absolute fact that the two players were a mile offside.
Yes, they were.
But hey ho, well, listen, we'll let it sit there for now, and hopefully might get somebody on like Scott Hendry. We've had a referee on before.
We have, the great Mark Halsey.
Yeah, so maybe we get Scott Hendry on next time and see what he thinks.
Have Gary Berwick as well, who continues to run the line, doesn't he?
Yeah, arguably, yeah. Yeah, I raised eyebrows there, but listen, we move on to the final part of the show, really, because we haven't got a guest. We're not going to take a break. We might have dry mouths, but we've got plenty of fluids in front of us. So we go on to the fixtures, predictions, and our analysis. But listen, first of all, top of the story, we talk about Skelmersdale United Football Club.
Yes, we do. So after our victory over Daysbrook at the weekend by 2-1, it is now 3 wins in 5 games for Barlow and Barney's Barmy Army as we propel ourselves from 13th place to 12th place in the table. The run is now on. It was a heart-in-mouth afternoon over at Daysbrook, I think. First and foremost, the 2-minute silence on Remembrance Sunday, impeccably observed by both teams, officials and all fans concerned. So we really appreciate that one, and thank you very much for honouring those who gave their ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. We started off well. I think we controlled the game in certain areas, particularly...
I think the first part of the game, we gave too much freedom to them.
We did.
Made them look better than us for maybe the first 20 minutes. I think from that point onwards, I think we flourished once we got into the flow of the game.
I think we did. Yeah, there was we had a lot of opportunities in the attacking third. I think having a grass pitch when we're used to 3G, it doesn't help. The adaptability wasn't quite there. There were more misplaced passes than I think the boys would agree is normal. We still got a couple of good tests out of it though. Yeah, Brandon Carrington, Cam O'Neill, they all had opportunities there. Tested the Daysbrook goalkeeper, but we still ended up going 1-0 down, as we often do. We secured the 3 points by coming from behind. We've never...
So that's 3 times now, isn't it? All three of our wins. All 3 of our wins we've had to come from behind.
We have, yeah. So it certainly shows...
It'd be nice to get ahead in a game and score 2 or 3. And I feel as though it's going to come, by the way.
I think so.
3 or 4 goal wins are going to come in the next few weeks.
I think we've probably looked more organised and more dangerous in the last... couple of games than I think we ever have done. I think we've got much more of a settled squad now.
I was going to say that. Is it fair to say now we've got to that point where the management team know pretty much who the starting 11 is going to be on a week-to-week basis.
I think you're correct there. Yeah, I think they really do. I think we'd probably agree that one or two more players are needed. I think our defence is looking a little light on numbers, but nonetheless, we certainly know who our squad is right now, and I think all of them, when we have a fully fit squad to choose from, I think they could challenge just about any team in this division.
So defensively, we're looking fairly strong. From a starting perspective, we need to recruit more defenders.
We do.
There's no doubt about that. To cover in the event of injuries and such like.
Correct.
So we're well aware of that.
Yep.
I think from a sort of central midfield perspective, it all depends on whether we can keep two players playing every week, which is going to be difficult.
Yeah.
We know work and such like takes precedence over football.
It certainly does.
So we know we're going to struggle from that perspective, but up front, the wingers, we've got quality.
We do.
I don't feel we're far away from. I'm not going to say the finished article because that sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
We're nowhere near being that, but I think in terms of being at full strength for what level we're at, and for the personnel that we're going to attract, I think we've got we've probably got 11 players and a strong bench.
Oh, absolutely, we have a strong bench, and the thing is, we've probably got strength in numbers as well, more than just about any team in this division as well. A lot of the teams that we've seen and we've been playing with have been bringing on 2 or 3 players off the bench, and that's been it. We have 7 to choose from. We've got a great squad and players who can make a difference as well. Henry Singleton, when he came on in central midfield, was absolutely brilliant for how much he was haranguing their players in the centre of the park, winning the ball back.
We accused Cameron of being a wasp. I mean, what title do you give Henry?
Oh,
because he's as much as a sort of dynamo, as energetic, and doesn't give anybody a minute.
No, he didn't.
A minute's rest.
No, he doesn't, and that's what I like about him, is his work rate and his ability to just be physical. He's only a slight lad, he's not tall, he's not well built in that regard, but he knows how to put a tackle in, and I think that was an excellent commodity for us to use in those final 20 minutes. So we took the lead with half an hour remaining. 10 minutes after that, Henry came on and he just mopped up so much in that centre midfield park. Gave Alex Davies a little bit of a partnership there after Darren Askew had come off, and a brilliant
there was at least 2 or 3 players there that had run themselves into the deck, hadn't they? And as fit as they were, they just picked up little knocks, which could have changed the game, but it didn't. It probably changed the game for the better, really, because the personnel that came on sort of absorbed the pressure.
They did. They were all
flourished.
They were all chasers, so we brought on Henry, we brought on Joe, and we brought on Ellis, all 3 of whom are very much known for being able to cover ground en masse. Exactly. Well, not just pacey, but they've got lungs. They've got lungs to burn. So it was brilliant to have that extra foil where we could just sit on the defence. And I think even Sam Woods from right back found a second wind, sprinting the full length of the pitch almost to chase an errant ball. That shows you commitment. That does. He was phenomenal there.
Standout players for you?
So standout players for me, Cam O'Neill. And I think he's probably one of the most exciting players that we've got on our team. A natural number 10. He can dribble the ball like nobody I've ever seen down at this level. He's got an eye for goal.
He's going to go places in.
I think he probably could, He's still very young, still learning his game, but ended up scoring the winning goal for us as well, and then was asked to do a job on the right side of midfield as well, and continue to put that effort in.
The return of Zach Thomas. Now, I have to say this because that lad nearly gave up football, men's football, to carry on playing in a very much sort of junior style of football. He was absolutely immense. He was amazing.
At left back.
He is wasted in lower football. He should be playing football at this level. He's only 16, 17. He'll get his opportunity to play much higher than he's playing. And I'm not saying he's going to go on to do anything fancy dancy, but he could be a good steady, regular Northern Premier League player when he gets to his 20s. There's absolutely no doubt about that. He did a shift and a half. He was absolutely amazing for my money. I thought I loved watching him. And for such a young man, he's got such a brave heart.
Yeah, he does.
And if he's listening, and he probably doesn't, but if he's got better things to do, be on his PlayStation.
Fair enough.
But if he does listen to this, you don't realise the talent you've got at your feet there.
Yeah. So keep pulling on that blue shirt, mate, because I don't think you know the job that you do for us. So we're proud of you, mate.
Yeah. Fitzy, you've got to mention Fitzy again.
Craig Fitzjohn, the heart and soul of our centre half pairing.
What a nice guy! As well as everything else, he's such a nice guy.
And he is such a nice guy. I've spoken to him once, but still a really nice guy. Just fits in so naturally with the rest of the squad, all of whom are at least 10 years younger than him. He's absolutely got that experience that we needed at the back to be able to kind of calm things down, direct the traffic to where it needed to be. Still got the ability to put a tackle in. He even tries a little foray into midfield every now and again. Yeah, absolutely.
And compose a few awkward situations, can he, when he does?
Yes, he does. Yeah, for better and for worse. No, he
I was going to say he looks like a taller version of a duo in a ABBA tribute band.
I still think he's selling surfboards down at Cornwall.
Yeah, he just
looks like that. Yeah, he's just such a relaxed kind of guy. But once again, absolutely immense for us at the back. Very much the rock that we hoped he would be when we brought him in.
And we have to mention Leighton Rimmer again, because since Leighton Rimmer came into the back into the team, he's grown up so much from last season. He's took on the captain's wristband as well. So
yes,
he's doing armband. Yeah, you're right.
At the age of 19, it should be said.
Something like that, 19. Yeah. He's sort of come out of his shell. He's very vocal.
He's very vocal
as well. But I'd have to say he's our most consistent player since he rejoined the club.
I think you're probably right. Yeah, he's again an excellent
training for us. For weeks, without even the previous manager signing them, I've got to say.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit of a
backstory there.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that, but it shows his commitment to the cause. Really, he wanted to be part of this club, and we're so glad to be able to have him there. I think the thing I like about Leighton is his versatility. You know that you could put him just about anywhere on that defensive line and he'd do a job. You even put him in defensive midfield alongside Darren or Alex and he'd still have the legs and the ability to read the game well.
But those legs, they're like granite.
Yeah, they are.
And he can hit the ball, can't he?
We saw him hit the ball twice yesterday and I'm sure they would have broken speed limits here and there. He's got absolutely thunderous right foot on it.
Yeah, it really bodes well for the future. I mean, we can mention Darren Askew. Darren Askew is very much the sort of engine in midfield.
Yeah, him and Alex Davis.
I think if you spent all your time just watching Darren and the amount of input that he has in a game, if you don't watch him, you probably don't realise it, but he puts so much effort in, as does, like you've mentioned, Alex Davis there as well. Two really instrumental players in that midfield.
Yeah, very much so, and they've got that experience of playing higher up in the pyramids, that they know to settle a game. They know how to control the flow of a game and how to break up opposition's attacks really well. Put themselves about here, there, wherever they need to. They just do the dirty work in the engine room there. A brilliant foil to let players like Cam and the Carrington brothers do their work in the attacking third of the game, and they'll still pop up with a shot every now and again. So
who scored our goals? Cameron and
Toby.
Yeah. So we're going to mention Toby again, haven't we?
Yeah.
Toby, he just pops up, doesn't he?
He does.
Just scores goals.
Yeah, he's a lad that Andy mentioned. You'd not really know that he was playing a game, but you'll know that he'll score goals because the 6 yard box is where he's most at home.
The fox in the box.
He is a redhead as well, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
But a towering header from Toby on Saturday, which dropped in perfectly just underneath the keeper's crossbar.
Nearly spoiled his haircut.
Nearly spoiled his haircut, but I don't think he'll mind. It's another goal for his campaign.
Because of course he scored 2 against FC King Harry, which don't count for anything now. But he came on the second half. Then he could have absolutely destroyed FC King Harry had he had longer on the pitch.
I think so. Yeah, he scored 2 predatory goals. Absolutely typical of Toby Taylor, really. But I think
how much has he grown up since last season?
He's very tall. He's an awful lot taller than what he is.
He's matured as a player. He looks like the real deal.
Yeah. I think we've got the makings of a serious goal scorer.
Yeah, another player that, you stick him in the Northwest Counties now, he's going to score 20, 25 goals.
I think he will.
In a team that's supplying them.
Hopefully.
That's coming. We feel as though that's coming within our team as well. There's a lot that the wing players working well. It'll be interesting because when we play Halewood at the end of the month,
Halewood, who was sitting one place below us now, they're bottom of the league.
But we'll be playing on an artificial pitch, which will suit our style of football. Yeah, we're just hoping now that there's not too many football pitches that we've got to go and play on, because it'll only get tougher.
Yeah, it will do. We play on an awful lot of grass pitches for our team, and it doesn't suit our style of play. It was adaptable enough against Daysbrook, but it will be challenging enough when we come across other teams. We played Nalgo on a grass pitch, and we were undone there. Admittedly, we didn't have the personnel that we do this time around. But I think the other player that we've got to mention, really, he didn't play on Saturday, but he did return to training the other day, is Connor Johnston. Another player who can sit in the midfield and just work and be an engine, and I think that's an excellent foil from what we need as well. He went through his paces with Eve, our physiotherapist, and he looks on course for a return soon.
Big up to her as well, because she's doing a fabulous job, isn't she? Alongside Josh Yell, who's our strength and conditioning coach. Yeah. The unsung heroes behind the scenes.
Very much
Eve
so.
is doing an absolutely fabulous job. She turns up every training session, as we know, always on hand there to help the players through their injuries and niggles, which we didn't really have last season. No. So we're really so grateful to her and Josh.
Yeah, for keeping us fit and healthy, literally fit and healthy.
And a wonderful sort of core team.
Yeah, they all get on with each other, don't they?
Yeah. The camaraderie's good.
The camaraderie is brilliant. I was there, yesterday. You just see all the boys just talking to each other. Nobody was really isolating from each other. They were just having a good time. You
see people hurting, which you don't always see in a losing team. That's starting to come, but also seeing the camaraderie when the training and the winning, the togetherness now. That's taken a short period of time, really, when you consider, the season started mid-August. We've not played a great deal of games, but we've trained a lot, and I think the fitness levels, if anything's going to drive us further up the table, it'll certainly be the fitness levels.
I think so. We've played 10 games overall since the start of the season, and I think this core group of lads now have probably only played about 6, really. Because there's been changes in personnel since the shift in management, and I think we're now starting to get to that point where these lads are gelling fully and properly and effectively on the pitch, and that's now starting to produce results. The teams that we've beaten are both teams that were in the top 8. And I think there are 2 teams that could and will probably beat us when we play the reverse fixture. But otherwise, I don't think there's anybody outside of them that we can't beat. And the thing is, we've played everybody in the top 5 already.
We know there's going to be a lot more sort of downs than ups.
There'll be a few more downs through this season.
Yeah, we're well aware of that. We're not getting cocky because...
No, we're not. But I honestly believe that we're starting to build a squad that is capable of getting to that cherished top 5, where we know then, if we get to there, we will be promoted.
Yeah. And if you can enjoy it, that's a plus. And we've not always been able to enjoy it. Like you say, we've had 3 victories this season that we've been able to celebrate
in 5 games. 3 wins in 5 games. That's it.
So we're getting spoiled.
We are getting spoiled. I mean, it's also the goals that are coming as well. We're scoring more goals now than what we did last season as well.
And Mikey Ledbetter, he was back in training as well.
Mikey Ledbetter was back in training. Looked very sharp.
Alex Priestley's re-signed for the club. We think he's going to play a part.
Has he?
At some stage. Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So hopefully, he'll feature
with a goal or 2.
Yeah. Listen, we know the ability that he's got. Listen, quick shout out to Joe Langford as well, because it's been a difficult time for him. But some of the shots that he saved on Saturday, I think he had 3 world-class saves.
Yeah.
So that has to be commended. By his own admission, his kicking wasn't great. And he's admitted to that. He's owned that. But when you've spent sort of a lot of time in the doldrums, either there or thereabouts,
and Joe was very much in that doldrums of that team last season. Between him and Leighton, I think they were the only 2 who. Oh, and Darren, but Darren was injured on and off through most of the season, wasn't he? So Joe was probably the standalone figure who had to endure all of those heavy defeats and all of those criticism, and kept on coming back, and is now like a real challenger with David for the goal.
So listen, thumbs up to Joe. Yeah,
fair enough.
He did really well on Saturday.
Yeah, right.
So listen, we're happy with Skeb, so we move on to our fixtures and predictions.
Yeah,
and of course,
so
I'm determined to win at some stage. I've got to win.
Because it's now 8-1.
Oh, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Admittedly, a few of those by default, but that's not my problem.
We're looking at tonight, aren't we?
We are.
A game that's played at MSB Walton. Nelson, they got problems with their floodlights or something, is it?
I think they may have problems with their floodlights. It's been a while since they played an evening fixture at their own ground, so I think there probably is something to do with the electricity at Little Wembley. So, nonetheless...
not a league game, the Edward Case Cup first round North.
Yeah, so that's Nelson versus MSB Walton being played at MSB
Still
Walton.
Going for Nelson.
I still think that'll be a home win. I think Nelson are on a serious charge right now. I don't see that letting up. So
continuity is the key word there.
Yep, and also being played on the Wednesday night is West Didsbury and Chorlton versus City of Liverpool at the Step Places Stadium.
West Didsbury and Chorlton for me there.
Same here. They're going to continue that promotion push. They're in 3rd place now, and with Padiham having dropped points, there's every chance that West Didsbury can close that gap soon. Now, the First Division North has 1 game in there on the Wednesday night. That takes place at my favourite stadium, the Brian Boys Westview Stadium up in Bacup.
The Westlife Westview Stadium. I always get confused with that one, but I'm going for Bacup Borough.
Against Holker Old Boys on a weeknight, I'd say.
Yeah, they don't travel well, do they?
They do not, so I think Bacup Borough are probably there and thereabouts as well. Then on the Thursday, the Cheshire Senior Cup first round, and if you're Barnton, what an event this is going to be, because you're going to Crewe.
And it's actually held at Cresty Road.
At Cresty
Road as well.
Home of Crewe, indeed. Yes.
Crewe.
So an amazing day out for Barnton, but I think it's going to be a Crewe win there.
Yeah. Right. So moving on to Friday. We're already on Friday. No, we've gone from Thursday to Friday.
Friday night lights,
there in the Premier Division, and it is Atherton Allar versus Prestwich Hayes. Not much difference with in between league positions. There's
3 places,
3 points. The 3 places.
Yeah, 3 places and 3 points.
I think Atherton LR will be determined to win that home, so I'm going to go for a home victory.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a home victory as well. Prestwich Hayes, 6 wins, 6 draws, 6 losses, and a negative goal difference to go with it as well. Whereas
the form table is at the back there as well, if you look.
It is, and it doesn't favour Atherton LR.
No, it doesn't at the moment, does it?
But they've had a series of really difficult games, to contend with. So you can understand why they've been losing to teams like, Earlham they lost to. I think Glossop North End as well, they lost to as well. So down towards the bottom end of the form table they may be, but I think they'll do enough against Prestwich Hayes, who are unbeaten in their last 2 games, but inconsistency across the park. Yeah.
Moving on to FC St Helens versus South Liverpool. There's a time when I said South Liverpool don't stand a chance in this, but you know what? They're both on the same points.
Yep.
FC St Helens have a game advantage. So South Liverpool played a game less. So technically, whoever wins this will sort of provide a little bit of daylight between the two of them.
Yeah.
I don't know which way to go on this one.
So, FC St Helens still unbeaten in the last 6 games, which is something, not to be sniffed at. South Liverpool, by total contrast, have won 5 out of the last 6 and scored 15 goals to boot. But with FC St Helens' home record being really quite solid, I am going to say a draw here, because I know South Liverpool, they play at, is it Jericho Lane they play at?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so that's 3G. And I think the style of football that FC St Helens have got will suit them reasonably well.
Reasonably good pitch at FC St Helens.
It is very well managed.
Quite boggy at this stage with all the rain that we've had.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah,
I'm going for South Liverpool though. I've got a feeling.
I'm going to say a draw, because I know that FC St Helens good on their own home pitch, but you can't ignore that South Liverpool attack.
No,
I can't. So, for me, I think it will be a draw. I just think the defence may be just their undoing slightly.
Right, Ashton Town versus Darwin in the Edward Case Cup second round North.
Yeah.
Interesting one.
It is a very interesting one. Both teams with a lot of inconsistencies, but still managing to go places in the league. Both occupying places in the top 4. So, there's got to be a winner. And for me, I think it will be Ashton Town. Yeah,
I mean, if you look at the form table there, they're pretty much similar. 3 wins apiece. Ashton Town have drawn 1 and lost 2, whereas Darwin have lost 3 as well as winning 3. The goals, 4 and against. I think Ashton conceded a lot more, 11 compared to 9 with Darwin. Yeah, listen, it could be it'll be played to a win anyway, wouldn't it? But I'm going for Ashton Town.
All right then.
We are talking about Ashton Town.
Okay.
It's these drugs are man, you see them.
Yeah. Now this one is a bit of an odd one, because it all depends on the result that happens on Wednesday night. So this is Daisy Hill versus either Nelson or MSB Walton. Now, assuming that Nelson win the game on Wednesday night, they then travel to Daisy Hill 72 hours later, and I think they'll win that one.
Nelson.
Yeah,
I'm going for Nelson as well. McGull versus Baker Borough. I think the home advantage
probably plays a part.
Do it. I don't know. Yeah. It's a difficult one, really, isn't it?
It is a very difficult one, because although McGull are second in the league, Baker Borough are 6th and still have a knack for churning out good results here and there, particularly with Kyle Siddle and Oliver Hodgson in their ranks. So, yeah, for me, I'd still say a home win, but I think that'll be very tight.
Yeah, I'm going to go for McGull.
Yeah.
Listen, a lot of these will be probably decided on penalties, won't they, I would imagine?
Yeah, I think you're right.
Main Road versus AFC Blackpool?
AFC Blackpool.
Yeah, I think you can't go wrong with that one. So, Saturday, still the Edward Chase... I keep saying that. Edward Case Cup second round, South Barnton versus Asheville. I'm going for Asheville.
I'm going for Barnton.
All right, interesting.
Even though it's played at Asheville, this one.
Right, okay, fair enough. Runcorn Town versus Stafford Town. I'm going to go for Runcorn Town.
Runcorn Town.
Sandbach versus Cheadle Heath Nomads.
Sandbach.
I go for Sandbach as well. Telford Town versus Stockport Georgians. I'm going to go for Telford Town.
Stockport Georgians are 5th, Telford Town 3rd. And there's only a points difference between them, and I would hope that after their draw against Wolverhampton Sporting Community, Telford Town will have had a rocket up their backside from Matty Boswell. So I will say a home win there.
Yeah, Right, fair enough. Moving on to the bread and butter, the Premier Division itself. AFC Liverpool versus Longridge Town. I'm still going for AFC Liverpool.
So am I. Their form has absolutely turned a corner, and I honestly believe that's down to one certain large goalkeeper shoring up the back line there. We already knew that AFC Liverpool have prospects up top anyway. By far and away the best goal scorers in that bottom half. So yeah, home win for me.
I do so miss Ben and Kate and the kids.
Yeah.
It'd be good to see them at some stage. I know they have a busy schedule with the football and what have you.
And their careers and the kids.
Yeah, listen, maybe the Friday night game against the Grenadier might be the games.
Quite honestly, I think we'll see them in a professional capacity, given that they are both police officers.
I'm living in hope, really, because we could do with some police reinforcement at that game.
Yep. So if you hear Kate, just take your asp if you're with us for that game, please.
Yeah. I've never quite asked what the question is about the asp. This was a private joke between the two.
I've no idea where it came from. I think it was just something to do with the fact that Kate doesn't take any crap and is a police officer.
Yeah.
I can't remember. It's been that long. That long a running joke.
Right. I was going to say, is a bark bigger than a bite? Or was it something to do with that?
Have you met Kate?
Oh, yeah. Listen,
exactly.
You can hold it on. Listen, Bearscough versus Glossop North End.
Bearscough. Yeah,
I'll go for Bearscough. Chadderton versus City of Liverpool. Chadderton. Charnock Richard versus Cheadle Town.
I'm going to go for Charnock Richard, particularly after the performance that they were giving against Padiham on the Tuesday night. So that's got to be a home win for me at Mozzie Park.
Yeah, I'm going for Cheadle Town. Earlham versus Abbey Hay.
Still a bit of a stumble for Earlham, but I think they'll do the business against Abbey Hay, who are second from bottom there. So I fully expect them to get back to winning ways here.
Earlham. Ramsbottom United versus Pilkington. Well, Pilkington have got, off the back of the win, will be feeling really, really confident, but yeah, still going for Ramsbottom United. Stockport Town versus Barnoldswick Town. Stockport Town for me.
Barnoldswick 12th in the form table, Stockport Town 21st, no wins in 6. Yeah, you'd be minded to say Barnoldswick, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Wythenshawe versus Exton Villa.
Wythenshawe,
Exton not doing particularly well. FC Alabama versus West Didsbury and Chorlton. West Didsbury and Chorlton.
Draw.
All right, okay.
You can say Alabama will take something out of that one, I think.
First Division North, Ashton Athletic versus Garstang. We're going to go for Garstang.
So am
I. Colne versus Thornton Cleveland's.
Draw.
Similar sort of form in the form table.
Yeah.
And what are we looking at now?
Colne had that really good result against Darwin, but I don't know whether it was just a flash in the pan at this point, because their form otherwise hasn't been consistent at all.
I'd have said if it was at home, it would be for Thornton Cleveland's. I'd fancy them, but I'm going for Colne.
I'm still going for a draw, me.
Squiersgate versus Steeton.
Steeton.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Steeton as well. First Division South, Allscott Heath versus Market Drayton Town.
That's an odd one, that. So Market Drayton Town have had a bit of an uprise recently, a couple of draws and a win in amongst 3 losses there, whereas Allscott Heath are 2 wins, but sandwiched in there is a bunch of losses.
Yeah,
that being said, they still have a positive goal difference over the last 6 games as well. I don't know how on earth you manage that whilst losing 4 times. I'm going to go with draw.
You know what? I've already done it. I've put the D down, so I'm going for a draw.
Attaboy.
Foley Mere versus Shawbury United. I'm going for Foley Mere.
Foley Mere.
Hormond versus Camellards. You know what? I've got a feeling Hormond might...
Yeah,
I think they might get something out of this.
I'm going to say a draw there. I think
Camellards
do still have some bits there.
I think I've got to have a slight little disagreement with you here and there if I'm going to win this week.
Yeah, it's only been 1 or 2 points
that
separated us, so I can see why.
Yeah.
All right, Stockport Town versus Warrington Town on the Monday night in the Cheshire Senior Cup second round.
Oh, it depends what the team field, but Warrington Town for me.
I think so too.
The Premier Division back on the Tuesday night. Barnoldswick versus Abbey Hay.
Barnoldswick.
Go on, I'll go for Barnsley. Cheadletown versus Litherland.
Oh, that's horrible, that one, because we do so want Jamie Rainford to do well here, but I do think Cheadletown are just going to be that bit stronger. So home win for me.
City Liverpool versus Ramsbottom United. Got to be Ramsbottom
Got to be Ramsbottom. And then this is an interesting one. Glossop North End, the revitalised, versus FC St Helens.
Yeah, so soon after.
Oh, draw? I'm going to say a draw.
You know what? I'm going to go for Glossop North End.
All right.
Yeah. Division 1 North, Holker Old Boys versus AFC Blackpool. I think that's going to be a bloody good game there.
I think that'll be an excellent game there. As we know, Holker Old Boys, not the greatest travellers, but have got a mean home record. I do think AFC Blackpool may come unstuck on this one, and I think that may arrest that winning run that they are on right now. Home win.
I always thought physically, going back a couple of seasons ago now, that they were all sort of physically matched up. But listen, I'm with you. I'm going for Holker Old Boys.
Alrighty. Then, First Division South, we've got Ashville against New Mills. New Mills for me.
Ashville for me. Sandbach United versus Wolverhampton Casuals. Go for Sandbach.
Sandbach.
Cheshire Senior Cup second round, Runcorn Town versus Stockport Georgians, Runcorn Town for me. The Lancashire Challenge Trophy second round, also on Tuesday, Ashton Athletic versus Lancaster City. Lancaster City for me.
Yeah, me too.
Fulwood Amateurs versus AFC Fylde, going for AFC Fylde.
AFC Fylde.
Longridge Town versus Daisy Hill, going for Daisy Hill.
I'm going for Longridge Town.
Prestwich Hayes versus Padiham, I'm going for Prestwich Hayes.
I'm going to go for Padiham.
Squiresgate versus Nelson, definitely Nelson for me.
Nelson there too.
Liverpool Senior Cup preliminary round, MSB Walton versus Bootle, played at Bootle. I'm going to go for Bootle.
Bootle.
Manchester Premier Cup preliminary round, Aston United versus Chadderton.
It's a lovely game that, but
some really cracking couple of good sides there, because Radcliffe are at home to Earlham.
I think home wins across both those games there.
Home wins for both, so that's sort of
rounds up the fixtures.
That rounds up the fixtures without a shadow of a doubt. It'll be interesting to see.
Thoroughly fascinating week of football there. It'll be interesting to see whether Frank can bring home the bacon when we reconvene next Wednesday.
And we do know it's quadruple points next week. It's the
Is it now?
It's the quadruple points week next week.
Carrying on like fantasy football.
So it counts as 4 wins next week if I win. And it's just 1 win for you if you win.
Because I'm 7 wins out.
Listen, because we've never counted all of the rest, I have to concede to that. But listen, it's going to be an interesting week. It certainly has been an interesting week, and we just hope there's more controversial stories to set us up with next week. So
yes, please.
I was thinking of a sort of change of direction in terms of what we've learnt in the last week, and sort of more simplify it and just ask the question, what more can we do?
I mean, God, that's a question for the philosophers, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think in terms of what more can we do, I think we just need unbridled support, really, for Skem, for the league that we're in, for the leagues that we support, the Northwest Counties, the Northern Prem. Just keep on going. Just keep on supporting your teams, even with the bad run. I know it's miles easier to fob off the football and go and try and play golf or something like that when your team isn't doing well, but there's nothing like being there at the football on a Saturday.
Yeah, I know by and large I prepare the questions, so I've got a little bit of an edge in terms of that question. Then I just think because it does sort of intermingle with what I've learned through the not last week, through the whole season scenario. Really is being humble and honest. You stick to that. Sometimes you have that moment where you think, sorry, you know what after happened, the aftermath of the game the other week that we don't want to talk about, but you sometimes think to yourself, you should come back fighting and start beating the drum and shouting and screaming, and we mentioned things that we weren't happy with last week, but we're of a forgiving nature, and we like to believe that everybody treats us with the same level of honesty and respect as we will, and we'll carry on doing that. So I think I mentioned it sort of off mic in terms of I don't like people that are two-faced.
Mm-hmm.
So when they turn around and say he's rubbish, she's rubbish, and then all of a sudden they want the services of the same people. I say, well, you've lost your level of integrity and honesty, and how do you redeem yourself from that? I'd hate to be one of those people that could be accused of doing that, and I know that I'm not. So I'm quite enjoying the fact that, okay, I'm in a great deal of pain, and I've got to sort me back out. I've got to sort those issues out. Those little wins, those little victories help to make life a little bit more pleasant. But you know what? When you're sitting back, you got your feet kicked up, and you're watching your box set, you can always remember how humble and honest you are, and I think that pays dividends in football. Some people will argue and say you've got to fight back. I mean, Joey Burns felt as though he had to fight back, and listen, we agree with him, but we move on next week or to the next game, and we say, well, listen, you don't do these things deliberately, but take a look at it. When a referee comes back to you and says, well, did you really need to post that on here? Well, he's posted it now, and maybe it's food for thought. Maybe we all need food for thought somewhere along the line, and I'm happy for that. If anybody tells me that, listen, you've had a bummer of a week, you've made some really, really bad mistakes, then I want to know how I can rectify them, and that's what we should all do. Show a little bit of integrity, honesty, and be as humble as we always have been. And I'd like to think that'll pay dividends for us in the future. I think that rounds that one up. And we leave those final words to the dulcet tones of AJ.
You've been listening to the Speaking Frankly Football Show with me, AJ Vergette, and my co-host, Mr. Frank Hughes. This podcast is available on most streaming services, wherever you get your podcasts, including Spotify and Amazon Music. Please rate and review, as we do thrive off hearing your feedback. Please also subscribe so that you can know firsthand when a new episode has been released. Please also follow us on social media, as we are out there under the banner term Speaking Frankly Football Show on various platforms such as X and Facebook. And so from myself and Frank, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week for another episode of the show. Until then, bye-bye for now.